Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm your other host Dan. We are a weekly video game news podcast, broadcasting on Chipbit Radio at chipbit.net. You can also find us on social media like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and iTunes and Steam.
We're live on Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. on chipbit.net. Yeah. And we have show archives if you want to listen to past episodes on both our iTunes account and on chipbit.net site.
That is correct. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got some Kickstarter news. We got some recently released game news that's unfortunate, but I want to talk about because we totally called it.
It was unfortunate, but totally expected.
Totally expected. We have a little news about GameStop, and we have some news about games that didn't quite make it as far as release goes, and then some other little odds and ends. And we'll end off with what game releases are coming up in the next week or so. So we're going to start with this Kickstarter for Battletech.
Now, we mentioned this last week, right?
We did. We mentioned that it was going to be starting.
Yeah.
It started.
And
both of us were kind of skeptical as to whether or not people cared.
Yeah, because who cares about Battletech?
I mean,
it's just the more arcane version of MechWarrior, which people also don't care about.
People care about MechWarrior.
Well, they do.
I mean, I thought they did.
I didn't think they did.
I did.
I was like 85% sure they didn't.
But apparently they do, because this Kickstarter has 31 days left, and it's already at $1.3 million of its $250,000 goal.
Now, the one thing that is a little misleading about this is that Harebrained Schemes, the people who are making it, put up a bunch of the money that it needed just to meet its initial goal themselves.
Okay.
So this was going to get funded no matter what. Like, the game was going to be made no matter what, but all the additional content was because of backers. So that was a little strange. So it didn't really start at zero.
Yeah, but they were going... It seems like that means that they knew they could make it, but they were going more for more content, is what they're relying on the backers for.
And as I said, 250,000 is what they put up, and since this is made over 1.3 mil...
In a day.
In 3. It started with like 34.
Oh, it was a 34
days.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I assumed it started like yesterday.
No. But yeah, so it still made over $1 million.
Zowie.
People are into it.
There's voice acting now.
There's gotta be now, yeah.
It's cinematics.
I'm excited.
Not cutscenes. Cinematics. That's what I want. It's like the StarCraft days. Speaking of StarCraft, Artanis got really buff.
Dude, he's a beefcake now.
And it mystified me.
He's on Roids.
So this Heroes of the Storm update where they're like, you can play as Artanis. I was like, that's not Artanis. Guy was skinny. I didn't play StarCraft 2, so I don't really know.
So I'm still skeptical as to whether they'll get to their $2.5 million goal.
For PvP multiplayer, which I think
sweet.
A lot of people would want.
I think they would, I just don't think this has that much steam in it.
Old school MechWarrior 2 had multiplayer.
And that's what people love.
You play it on your dial-up.
Yes.
Get those janky polygon robots going at it. It's so good.
Harebrained Schemes, just to for those who don't know, are the people who made the Shadowrun game.
Yep.
And another game as well, Golem Arcana. I was looking that up.
Mm-hmm.
That is a strange game.
Is it now?
It's not actually a video game. It's actually a tabletop miniatures game that has an app. So the idea is that there's no stats or rule books. Instead, you have like a funny little pen that you tap to the side of the miniature that you've gotten, and then like the data shows up on your screen as to all of that guy's stats and stuff.
Okay.
So it's like an interesting idea. I don't know how well it sold. But the cool thing that they did with Shadowrun, let's take that away from this. And Shadowrun, very similar to this, was the idea of them taking an older property and being like, oh, we're going to make an updated new version, it's going to rule. And they had kickstarted that, and they had made a ton of money on that Kickstarter.
Didn't it rule?
And it did rule. I mean, it's clearly, you play Shadowrun, and it's clearly an indie game. Like, there's definitely the art is really nice, but they cut a lot of other corners in terms of how pretty it looks.
Mhm.
But that's fine, because that's what we were all expecting, and the gameplay itself is fantastic. Oh, your cat.
So affectionate whenever you're here.
But so this, I mean, it already looks really nice in terms of the concept art.
Yeah,
but
if they keep this kind of visual style, I think it'll actually be a really pretty game.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be turn-based, again, similar to Shadowrun, and since they nailed that so well, I have every confidence in them to be able to do that for Battletech. So yeah, if they have enough money to make Battletech really pretty, this could just be like a smash hit for them.
Yeah. The resurrection of mech games.
Yeah!
Get out of my face, Titanfall.
Titanfall. Remember Titanfall?
Yeah, remember that, everyone?
No one does.
Remember that blockbuster hit that everyone would never forget? You'll remember it when Titanfall 2 comes out next year.
One of the things I did always prefer with a Mech Warrior where I always preferred Battletech over Mech Warrior, was Battletech had the humanoid robots, or primarily humanoid robots, whereas Mech Warrior is primarily chicken walker guys.
I like the chicken walker guys.
I prefer the humanoid because I look at them and I think of like the Jaeger designs from
Robot
Pacific
Jocks.
Rim. And Robot Jocks. Robot Jocks, the better giant robot.
The better option. If you have to decide what movie to watch when you're spending a night in, make it Robot Jocks. You won't be disappointed.
You won't.
I actually don't think you will. That movie's actually a ton of fun.
We are Robot Jocks. We're already dead.
I love that movie.
Did we have a Kickstarter story?
We do have another Kickstarter story.
Oh
We're going to talk about Divinity.
Divinity!
Again. Because it's done. Its Kickstarter's over.
It has mod support.
It has mod support. It got its final stretch goal, too.
So what was its final number on that?
The final number, I don't know.
Well, it was over $2 million.
It was $2,032,434.
Wow, they just peaked over.
Yep.
Just enough.
Yep, just enough to get those really weird ones, like Love and Hate, Shapeshifting Mask, and Game Master Mode.
Oh, it has Game Master Mode!
Which is actually really cool. I don't know about these other two, but that's a cool thing.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm really excited for that now.
Yeah. So that's exciting news. Not only did we get mod support, we got the whole shebang. Got everything.
Everything.
Great. So December of next year, look for it. Divinity.
Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah, we've covered it plenty. Let's talk about this Humble Monthly thing.
Oh, this is cool. Okay, so this is an article from Destructoid that I'm quoting here from October 1st. Yes, and it is Humble Monthly, like a loot crate for PC games. Also, I know where they have this they got the screenshot for this, the image for this, and it's amazing.
What's it from?
It's from this movie called Creepshow, which has it's like horror segments, and one of them is called The Crate, and that's what that screenshot is from.
Amazing.
But no, so the idea here is that you pay Humble $12 each month, and they just deliver games to you via email. So it's not like Loot Crate in the sense that you're not getting anything physical in the mail.
Now, will this be a single game per month?
No, I'm pretty sure it's several. You just get a bunch of random ones.
Will they be themed?
Probably.
Okay.
I think that's the most likely scenario, especially since when Humble Bundles come out, they are often themed.
I hope they do a theme month, which is bad games. And they send you just 4 awful games.
4 copies for $25 for Scare 5.
Oh, we'll get to that. Don't spoil it for the people. I'm sure most people know already, though.
But no, this is a really cool thing. The one thing that's a little weird about it is that they only allocate 5% of your monthly payments to charity, which is strange because the whole deal with Humble Bundle, for those who participated in them before, is you can choose how much you allocate to charity, and you choose the charities out of like a list of options.
Yeah.
So you could literally say, like, I'm going to get this Humble Bundle, and I'm going to pay however much I want to pay for it. as long as it meets like the minimum amount, which is usually very low. And I'm going to choose to have none of it go to the game developers and all of it go to charity.
Yeah.
So you could do that if you wanted. And this kind of takes that option out. So stuff is still going to charity, which is great, but probably a smaller percentage than most people typically put toward charity when they buy these.
Yeah.
I know it's a much smaller percentage than I typically put toward charity when I buy them.
As far as a logistics standpoint goes, it makes sense.
Oh, it totally
to
does.
limit them in that way.
Yeah.
Because having to deal with all those people's money for subscriptions and making sure everyone gets this right amount taken out for charities and not, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, and to make sure, and like the fact that people would like be changing it every month probably.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that since they want that steady stream of games, they want to be able to tell the developers, you're going to get like X%.
Right.
And that's not going to change. And I'm sure that makes it way easier for them to sell this idea to the developers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think this is
it's a
awesome.
cool idea.
There's actually another monthly service that I don't know if I sent you the article about.
I believe you did. It has to do with a certain very hot graphics card brand. And their ill-fated console, the Shield.
The Shield.
Consoles, I guess.
So yeah, I think it's cool that we're seeing more monthly service things, or at least it's interesting that we're seeing that as a trend.
I guess, yeah.
So if you want to move right into that story,
sure.
So
NVIDIA themselves on their blog say, you listen to music on Spotify. I'm going to use the voice.
Okay.
You watch movies on Netflix. Instant gaming gratification should always be a button press away too.
Synergy.
For a prosumer like you.
A true next-gen experience.
Tweens. That's why we're introducing the GeForce Now on-demand gaming service for our Shield family of gaming devices. What's the Shield, you might ask? I don't know either. I was just paid to say this.
The idea behind this is the NVIDIA Shield, which is sort of a set-top box thing that can stream games in the same way that they were, alluding to Netflix and Spotify stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You get one of those, and then you pay a monthly fee, which, what was it, like $8 or something? I forget what they set the price at.
Yeah, $8 a month.
$8 a month.
With the first 3 months for free.
That's kind of neat. And you can stream games through this set-top box, cloud-based service, full high definition 1080p quality at 60 frames per second. I'll believe that when I see it.
Me too.
But the library will include, I think it's 50 games? Yep, 50 popular games included. I'm sure only like 5 of them are actually popular.
Yep.
But one of them will be The Witcher 3.
Yep.
The entire Batman Arkham series will supposedly be on there, and the Lego games will be on there too.
For anyone who's interested, also, this launched yesterday. On October 1st.
Oh, it actually launched on October 1st. I thought they just announced it on October 1st.
Nope.
Well then.
It's out.
It's out. It's ready. You can get
so if you're interested, get in on it.
I'm actually kind of interested just to see how well it works. Because I do believe, in my heart of hearts, that this technology is the future. I don't necessarily think that it works that well now.
Yeah.
But I do think that, this is the boat we're eventually going to want to jump onto. Plus, assuming that it works, and assuming that the game library expands, this is so much more cost-effective than buying these games.
It is. And it evokes the age of renting a game at Blockbuster. Almost.
It kind of does.
It kind of does.
A little bit.
It's cheaper.
I mean, I guess in the same way that Netflix evokes Blockbuster.
Renting movies.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I guess the GameFly existed too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who cares about GameFly?
Because
they do physical discs. No one cares about that.
A scratched up Sonic the Hedgehog disc from GameFly. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I want to see if it actually works as well as they say it does, because I doubt it does. But as of right now, at least, I have no interest in game streaming services at all. I just don't want it. And I guess it's kind of because, I don't play enough different games to feel like it's worth it, in part. I'm the type of person who has, like, only 1 or 2 games they're playing at a time, usually.
Yeah.
And there will be times when I don't pick up anything new for a while. So something like this where it's like, you get all these games right at your fingertips, I'm kind of like, so? Like, I don't want to play most of them. Even though I did, I'd only play one at a time. So, I don't know. Services like this don't have me won over yet. I don't feel like... Maybe I'm just not the target audience for this stuff.
I also think it's fair to say that's where the difference comes in terms of the way people think about games as opposed to music or movies, which is what, they're trying to sell
music,
this
you
as.
throw it up and it's like, oh, I need to listen to this song.
Or
in
this
4
album.
minutes, or this album, or in like an hour, you're done.
Yeah, and then you'll switch to something else, and you could switch to a wildly different genre. It's not going to be that weird.
But most games, you're not going to just play for half hour, an hour, and then be like, oh, now I need something different. Typically, you're going to play it through the end if you like it.
Yeah.
And a lot of games are longer than that. And
Hopefully.
movies, too. I mean, movies are like 2 hours. Or shorter. Mm-hmm. Sometimes longer if you're watching like Lord of the Rings or something.
Oh god, Lord of the
Rings. But, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it works for them. I don't really know anything about how the Shield has been doing since launch.
Yeah, I should look up its numbers at some point.
Yeah, we should look into that. Speaking of playing the way you want to, you know what game is not gonna let you? I mean, in a sense.
The upcoming Rainbow Six Siege.
Which actually still, like, it looks like a really cool game. Looks really well put together, well thought out. It will, however, be lacking a campaign. Any kind of single-player story is not going to be in the game. I'm going to say right now, so what?
Yeah, that's actually not a big deal. This is some news that we found out about from Video Games 24/7, September 29th.
Yeah.
And this is, I think the single-player campaign mode of the Rainbow Six games is like the least interesting part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of fun, and it's a good way to like level up your character and unlock weapons before you jump into multiplayer, I guess.
But it's not, and like I'm not even a fan of multiplayer, but it's just not like multiplayer is the main event.
It totally
for this
is.
kind of game at this point. And honestly, I think that Call of Duty could just do without single player at this point.
Oh, probably.
Too.
Yeah.
Like, nobody talks about the single player of those games once it comes out. Someone will say, like, oh, that part was cool. And then they move on and are just multiplayer. You beat it in 4 hours, you're done.
Yep.
It's like they put it together so they have cutscenes to make a trailer with. Because they can't fit Kevin Spacey into the multiplayer properly.
Oh my gosh, Kevin Spacey. I take it all back. I want to split
the campaign now.
The campaign mode.
And with something like Rainbow Six Siege, like when that game first was announced, single player did not even cross my mind when it was shown first. It's like, oh, this is going to be a multiplayer thing.
And it's even more, multiplayer is even more relevant to this game because their whole sort of mission statement with it is they're taking multiplayer to the next level by adding a lot of more intense features.
Yeah.
And stuff that you can do.
Stuff and like
fully destructible environments.
All the like 3-dimensional movement with like rappelling and like dropping down from ceilings and things like that. So they're like you said, they're really trying to do more with this than other multiplayer first-person shooters have done. So I feel like it's a good idea to put the focus on that, rather than wasting resources and time making a single-player campaign that people will play for 3 hours and then forget about.
Now, one of the other things that's probably going to be in the game, I think we're like almost 100% sure, is the offline solo terrorist hunt thing. Can
be done as single-player.
Yeah, it can be done as single-player, and I think you might or might not be able to do co-op on there, I'm not sure. But yeah, you can definitely do that offline. So again, like I was saying, one of the things you do in the past versions of these games is there's lots of different guns to unlock and like different things you can unlock that you don't need to unlock them before you jump into multiplayer, but it certainly helps.
Yeah.
And gives you a lot more options. So I think the idea that you can at least play against bots gives people a little bit of practice time.
Yeah. And from what this article says, from what they've seen of the game, the AI is really good. So when you're playing single player, it's you against like 30 guys who actually can think and strategize around what you're doing. So it's very difficult. So if you're looking for a challenge, there you go.
Yep.
And there's a hard mode, too. So you can throw it on hard mode if you really want to torture yourself. The internet, however, a lot of people were really mad about this announcement. I saw a ton of people saying, I'm not going to buy the game now. There's no single-player campaign for me to ignore.
I understand that people feel like they're taking something away from them by doing this, and that sort of instigates this kind of reaction.
Yes.
But really, when you think about it, you weren't going to play that single-player.
Or you were going to play it once and it would be over in 2 hours.
Yeah, you weren't going to do. You don't care about single player. You really don't.
Nah.
Not for this game. And what is this? What is this tower that I'm looking at?
Oh, I just pulled up. There's this article here about Star Fox Zero and why it was delayed.
Oh.
Because we talked about how Star Fox Zero got delayed until 2016. This article's talking about how it runs at 60 frames per second on both screens.
Wow.
It actually does.
Wow.
Like, for real. And the reason it was delayed is because Platinum Studios has been working on it, and it's a very different game than what they usually work on. But they felt, Nintendo and Platinum both felt, that they needed to make the game just better and feel better to play, because the feeling of the game was not up to snuff with what fans of Platinum games have come to expect, as far as just the quality of gameplay. So cool. I like that. I'm a fan of Platinum games.
And that was, I think, when I was reading stuff about the initial delay and people who had played it at like E3.
A lot of people said it was lacking.
Yeah, there just wasn't that much going on there.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why they decided to delay to work on it more.
Some of the stuff I saw people saying it was somewhat bland.
Yeah.
And just not. It didn't feel whole. Like, it felt like there was chunks missing, kind of, as far as like the satisfaction and stuff goes.
Are we doing this?
We're doing this.
We're doing it.
We got a bunch of articles about this.
Oh my god.
This is the story. I want to talk a lot about this just because we hyped it up so much. In like our past couple shows, we've mentioned that Tony Hawk 5, Pro Skater 5 is coming out. It came out this past Tuesday, and we were talking about how stupid we thought it was for them to do this, how no one cares, how everyone will forget about it immediately, and then just the best possible thing happened.
Exactly. They guaranteed that people wouldn't forget about it immediately.
Yep. By making it suck.
So hard. So hard. Like nothing has sucked before.
It's so bad. It's
just a complete mess of glitches. There's so many gameplay videos. They're all amazing. We posted one to
Facebook. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was beautiful.
You do an ollie and you shoot like 20 feet up into the air in ragdoll.
The physics just don't work.
And I don't know, just for anyone who either doesn't know about skateboarding or has not played a skateboarding video game, you ollie all the time.
It's like I get all those points.
That's jumping. Skater lingo. Ollie means jump. Translator's note. Translator's note. Beefing it means. I guess falling over. I actually don't know what exactly it's an analog to. You messed up. Beefing it means you messed up.
Yep.
I'm too much of a shoebie to know what that means, really.
Editor's note: Shoebie is someone who wears shoes on the beach,
or sandals
on the beach. Typically a tourist.
The Rocket Power crew holds a great disdain for them.
Oh yeah.
Is there a Rocket Power video game?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Should do an expose report on it. Dig up an old copy. do a review.
Oh, no.
No one's done that.
Ugh.
No one's played Rocket Power. They don't care. This game, it's a mess. It's bad. And what I love the most about it is that Activision's statement from today, 9 hours ago, is, we are aware of the Tony Hawk 5 glitches.
We are aware of the issues the players have experienced following the launch of this game, and are working with the developer to address these so that we can continue to improve the gameplay experience for all Tony Hawk fans who have known and loved the franchise for more than 16 years. Man, this is an old franchise.
Yeah.
But no, so another thing about this game, and I think this is what would have happened if the game wasn't horribly broken, it totally would have been panned like we thought it would have been.
Yeah,
because we're looking at we're looking at screenshots and
so
gameplay.
Nothing.
It looks terrible.
It's so nothing. It's just boring.
Like really bland skate parks,
concrete, realistic-looking skate parks,
graphics that look like early last generation.
Yeah, like early Xbox 360 character models.
Yeah,
with these ugly black outlines.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Almost kind of looks like weird cell shading.
At first, I thought it was like photoshopping on the website, but it's not. We we looked at several different screenshots, and they all look like that.
Terrible. And you're right. It looks like all these character models have been photoshopped into this screenshot.
Well, none of them are moving naturally, so that's part of it.
All their faces look horrible.
Tony Hawk looks terrible.
He looks bad.
Although he's not looking too good in real life either.
He's pretty old. I mean, the launch trailer is just Tony Hawk actually skating.
Well, yeah.
Because that's way more interesting than this game.
So much more interesting.
Destructoid gave it a 5, which we both think is generous.
Very generous.
I mean, we didn't play it, but... Eesh.
Oh, there's some other funny things about this. The game's total size on the disc was only like around 4 gigs. And day one, it got a patch that was 7.7 gigs.
How?
Which didn't fix any of the glitches.
I don't understand what's in that patch.
The game.
Is it?
I assume. The majority of the game.
What is all that data? I don't understand.
Now another thing was some hardcore journalists did some digging and found that Activision, because that's who publishes this, right? Yeah, Activision had signed a contract to make Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, which that contract expires in 2015. As we know, it is almost the end of 2015. So this game very much feels like they were just like, hey, random dev team, throw something together in a couple months so we can put it out. Mm-hmm. And maybe it'll sell and maybe it won't, but we might as well try and milk this one last time before we lose the rights.
Yeah.
And that must have been what happened. I mean, there's no other reasonable explanation.
Yeah.
For it just being this bad.
It's got the mission structure that the past several games have had.
Okay.
That a lot of people don't like, myself included. Mm. So in that respect, they kind of beefed it too. Yeah. Because it's just not... It's not as interesting.
It's got nothing for anyone.
It's got nothing for anyone. The old games were the best. And this review says it actually as well, that the old games were cool because they're like the first 3. Because you were just dumped into an area, a weird area, to skate around in, and there were just objectives. And you just did stuff.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was fun.
It
wasn't just fine, it was fun.
All they need to do, and I think I talked about this last time, but all they need to do is take a cue from Microsoft and just do an HD remake of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Absolutely.
That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
It would have probably been just as easy as putting together a new game.
Yeah.
And people would have loved it, and they would have made so much money.
You're right. And everyone would have been happy listening to Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, keep the same soundtrack!
Yeah! It'll be like you're back in the 90s.
Except instead of only 30-second chunks of those songs, actually put the full track in.
The full track in. And then add more stuff. Just give me a huge 90s playlist.
Yeah, just add more songs, but from the same era.
Rock.
Yeah.
And hip-hop.
And pop punk.
Yeah!
Yeah, oh, so good.
Get Blink-182's whole discography on there.
Amazing.
It'd be so good!
Or an option where you can play any of your own music in it. Get some...
I love when games do that. Metal Gear Solid 5 on the PC lets you do that.
Oh, does it?
It's super good. People put it so the John Cena intro music plays when they call in their helicopter for air support.
Of course.
So it flies in like...
Dude, John Cena's
with rockets
everywhere.
everywhere.
He's everywhere these days.
You can't see him, though.
You found another great mod for
Oh yeah, another model swap someone did, where they swapped in the model of Metal Gear Sahelanthropus, the game's sort of final boss, for a bird. So you run around in the open world and you just see the Metal Gear crest over a bluff flapping its arms like a bird, making all of its horrible Metal Gear noises, and you can just shoot it out of the sky and go and pick it up.
Is it as good as Dragon Musket as Macho Man?
Dragon?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
Macho
think
Man
it's quite as
Dragon.
good as that, but it's getting there.
I love Macho Man Dragon. Yeah! And the fire shoots out.
And that horrifying skin.
Oh, it's so scary looking. And his gross, like, arm wings. The best part of that Macho Man mod, I will never agree that anything else in that is better than when the build-up, before the dragon shows up in that video from the end of the game, when everybody's, like, getting ready to do the executions, and then you hear echo through the mountains. And you better tell them Macho Man's coming for him. And everyone's like, what was that? Oh my goodness. It was nothing. Keep going. It's so good. Bless these PC modders. I love them.
I can only hope that we'll get to Macho Man status at some point for Phantom Pain.
Absolutely.
It's gonna happen.
Why don't they just mod Macho Man in for Metal Gear Sahelanthropus for the final boss fight?
Yeah.
He jumps around and everything. That would be great. He just jumps and lands in front of you. Yeah! D-Horse freaks out. You have to shoot rockets in his mouth.
Oh, they should do a character model Macho Man for D-Dog, like they did where they
Where he
swept that
runs around on all fours. Like that horrible cougar man from Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, that was terrible.
Where the human model got swapped in on a cougar. Oh, so scary. Oh, enough of this. Look how bored we are by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. We just started talking about mods for Metal Gear.
We had to brighten our day up somehow.
Also, I found this hilarious additional story from September 30th that EA has put the Skate series up on Xbox Live at a half-off price point.
Oh.
Just in time for the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. So anyone who is interested in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, stop and just buy Skate 2. Because it's a better skating game.
It is better.
It's just a better skating game.
You should still just buy Pro Skater 2.
Yeah.
Have Pro Skater
Is
2.
there a PC version of Pro Skater 2?
I'm almost certain there is.
Just buy that.
Because I'm pretty sure I played the PC version of Pro Skater 1.
Yeah.
So there has to have been a
it's
PC
gotta
of Pro
be.
Skater 2. Yeah.
Oh, Tony's Pro Skater 5, which faced doubts about its graphics and quality
Well,
in the year leading up to its launch. Great. They really showed us. I wonder how much Activision is actually going to fix these glitches, if at all.
they say they're going to... Well, they say they're aware of them.
But how much did this game even make them? I can't imagine it sold that well.
Yeah, I sure didn't make them that much.
Yeah.
And I really hope that it made them less than it cost them to develop it. Because that's what they deserve.
Well, we said before this game came out, there's no way people are going to care. There's just no way. Unless this game is like the end-all be-all. Man, when you just search for this game, it's harsh. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 looks like a dumpster fire on wheels.
I mean, that's true.
OXM review 1.5. Rough. It's Amazon, I have to say. 2 stars with 57 customer reviews. There's no sales data yet. I'm curious to know, though.
We'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, let's talk about GameStop. Well, we're on the subject of stuff that's horrible.
Hey, a big surprise. The GameStop CEO is an idiot.
Sure is. So
the CEO of GameStop, named Paul Raines,
yep,
did an interview with Fortune magazine on September 29th. Or it was published then. I'm sure the interview was a little before that. But they asked him, about like GameStop and the future of GameStop and what his thoughts are on how the business is going to evolve. And instead of giving intelligent answers to that, he instead has decided that...
decided to brag about how much money he's making.
That also, he has decided... And we reported, what was it, last week or the week before, that GameStop is not doing digital bundle consoles.
Yes.
And he is sort of doubling down on this idea. So he specifically says disc-based games will be around forever.
We're kind of pulling, just so everyone knows, we're pulling from this Fortune interview with him.
Oh, and also...
as well as a Polygon article.
Yes, the Polygon article is very nice.
Yeah, the Polygon article says, GameStop CEO says disc-based games will be around forever. Mm-hmm. And the Fortune article is GameStop CEO says digital will be a $1 billion business for us in 2015. Now, admittedly, I did not read the Fortune article super in-depth yet. This seems kind of contradictory.
A little bit. No, it's weird. He talks a lot about... He really doesn't talk as much about the digital stuff in the Fortune interview as the title would lead you to believe. Most of what he talks about is the brick-and-mortar stores and the fact that they're still selling discs. That's like the majority of the conversation, which is why the Polygon article was written, because that was really the takeaway from it.
Right. Is that he says people are always going to buy disc-based games. We don't need to change that.
Yes, and the weird thing about the Fortune article, which in my mind makes it bad reporting, is that they give a lot of numbers in terms of how much GameStop is making and what percentage their digital sales are versus their physical sales and stuff like that. But they just give it all from last year. And if you look at that, you say, oh, they're a healthy business because look at all this money they're making. But they don't really give the context of what they made in past years or what they're projected to make if market trends of digital, doing better and better continue.
Yeah.
So they're not really telling you the truth, which is GameStop is sort of going downhill. If you read the interview, it's like, oh, GameStop's making all this money, and their CEO is so confident.
There's nothing to worry about.
Nothing. They do give some of the breakdown. Digital sales is about 900 mil. Mm-hmm. And GameStop's 9.3 billion in revenue.
Yeah.
So yes, it is roughly 10% of their business is digital, and that is almost $1 billion. But like I said, it's 10%. So it's not actually a very huge chunk of their business. The majority of their business is still clearly selling the physical games, and that's what they need to do if they want to sustain their current business model.
Yep.
So, yeah, their CEO's just
doing his thing.
He's
being a business guy.
He's going to be confident until the day that they declare bankruptcy.
Talking that business. Gotta love it.
But you should definitely read the whole interview. Yeah. It's interesting. Oh, he also talks a little bit about VR and how they're going to offer, like, VR hubs that you can go to and play VR games and GameStop. Yeah. And I'm like,
oh, he talks about how there's stores with this augmented reality functionality where trailers are beamed to customers' phones, and then the customers can buy DLC directly off their phone from watching the trailer. And that apparently people are doing that.
But then you still don't need to go into a GameStop to do that.
No.
That's just a service anyone can provide.
Yeah. Just buy it off of your console if you want it.
Because you're already
the trailer.
Because if you have the game that you want to buy DLC for, you're already on your console. Yeah. It's just less work for you.
Seriously, it's dumb. Speaking of GameStop, They, along with many other retailers, are going to be reissuing several amiibo figures. A lot of the older amiibos that have become very hard to find are actually getting another production run.
Oh.
Surprisingly enough. And included in that, for GameStop, is Shulk, who GameStop made really hard to get on purpose. So will they do that again? Probably. Because they're still the only store getting him. There's a big list, though. It's like Bowser, Captain Falcon, Charizard, Little Mac, Marth, Peach, Villager.
Villager.
Villager. So it's a lot of the older ones that people are having a harder time finding at this point. And who probably... There probably weren't as many made of a lot of them, too, actually. Because I gotta feel like they front-loaded with, like, Mario's, Link's, Pikachu's, and... Although they are doing Pikachu again, so everybody bought him. And, Samus's and stuff. No reissue on Wii Fit Trainer. Oh boy. So Twitch, beat Dark Souls.
They didn't really beat Dark Souls.
They did not. I talked about how I lost interest in this completely once they started cheating. That hasn't changed, but they beat it. 43 days after they started, the dirty, stinking cheaters finished the game. 904 deaths. Cool. They chose the Dark Lord ending. Great. And completing the game was tough. Even when they cheated. They started cheating after 90 hours, when they switched from real-time direction-based gameplay to a turn-based format where they modded it so they could pause the game and do a democratic system to vote on what to do. So it's still, like, difficult because everyone needs to vote, like, oh, we paused it right here. Should we dodge? Yeah. Should we attack? Yeah. But with the ability to pause the game freely at any time, that's no problem. You pause, you think about what the best thing to do in that situation is, you do it. You pause, you think about what the best thing to do in that situation is, you do it. What makes the game difficult is doing that stuff on the fly and knowing when to do things and not overdo things.
That is kind of the challenge of an action game.
Yes. Pausing it kind of kills that.
A little bit.
Little tiny bit. I saw the news when they defeated Ornstein and Smaug, or however you pronounce them. But, it's like, I'm lukewarm about this. I'm like, alright. Next time pick something that you don't have to cheat to beat Twitch. Pokemon worked well. More interestingly, we have all that other stuff that people have been doing by, like, beating the game. Fans like Benjamin Bearsley Gwyn. It's funny, his name's Gwyn, just like the final boss of the game. Have been fighting their way through the game using things like the Guitar Hero controller, voice control, and the Donkey Konga drum controller.
Excellent.
Which I think is much more interesting. People have been doing that and not cheating, just using a weird control method to beat it. That's a lot of fun. Oh boy.
Dude, a DDR pad would be a real workout.
Yeah, jeez. To play that game in brief sittings.
We're gonna talk about the sadness of this.
I'm gonna talk about Soma. Soma, new game by Frictional Studios, who made Amnesia, came out. It has sold 92,000 copies, and according to Frictional Games, it's gonna pay for their next 2 years of stuff.
Excellent.
Already. So good for them. It's after 10 days on sale. It's already up to that on PC and PS4. They had a goal of selling 100,000 in their first month, so they're like almost there already. It's continuing to sell steadily at a rate of 2,000 copies per day.
By comparison, Amnesia, their first game, sold 30,000 in the first month. And
Machine for Pigs sold 120,000 in the first week.
Because it had all that hype.
And then everybody was really disappointed.
Yeah.
And if Steam refunds existed, everybody would have returned it, because it only takes 2 hours to beat.
Oh, really? It's that short?
It's really short.
That's too bad.
I took my time with it, and it took me like 3. And I really took my time with it.
I really took my time.
Way more than I needed to actually beat it. So Soma's cool. Everybody's been giving it really good review scores. I still need to play it.
Kotaku gave it a yes.
Shut up, Kotaku.
God damn it, Kotaku.
You're the worst. And the cool thing is that Frictional funded Soma completely by themselves, which means that all of this earned money is going into their pockets. It's not going to a publisher.
Not going to Kickstarter backers.
Not going to Kickstarter backers. This is their money. They can do whatever they want with it.
They can throw it, put it all in a swimming pool, and then Scrooge McDuck it.
I hope that's what they do. So yeah, that's very cool. Congratulations, Frictional. Let's talk about canceled games now. Rareware released a short video about a game they didn't release called Conquer Gettin' Medieval.
Oh no.
Oh no. Now, I have not watched this video yet, but I'm going to throw it up while I'm talking about this, just for the sake of seeing it. Allegedly, it was supposed to be a co-op, team-based shooter with siege mechanics, kind of based off of the sort of Saving Private Ryan Normandy Beach level in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's so weird.
It's super weird, and I guess it's because everybody really liked that level in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
It was a fun level.
So they wanted to, replicate that. And I mean, Rareware multiplayer, they made GoldenEye and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Perfect Dark. So they're good at that kind of thing. And they wanted it to be a completely online thing, but they never did it, and they didn't explain at all why this game actually got canceled.
What year was this? They tried to make this? Do we know?
It was in development back in 2005.
Oh.
After the re-release of Bad Fur Day. Except it was set, and it's supposed to be actually set in the Middle Ages, too. It's super weird.
All that concept art.
Yeah. It's interesting to see this other stuff that Rare had been working on that never ended up going anywhere. And it's kind of a shame. This concept art's so weird. It's super weird looking.
I keep getting distracted by it.
I keep getting distracted by it. But anyway, I'm glad that Rare has Yooka-Laylee coming up, the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because I've been really wanting, and seeing this canceled stuff makes me remember, they made so many good games. I want that to happen again. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. It just is get out of here.
Heartless.
Nobody wants you. So I'm hoping that Yooka-Laylee has that same charm that the old Banjo-Kazooie games had. And I know I'm not alone in that. I basically just want it to be Banjo-Kazooie with different characters. That's all I want. It shouldn't be any different. So I eagerly await that game's release. And everybody keep an eye on it. Speaking of canceled games, Silent Hills.
It was going to be amazing.
It was going to be even more amazing than we already thought.
Yes.
Because Hideo Kojima was working on it, Guillermo del Toro was working on it, Norman Reedus was the big main character guy, but apparently Japanese horror manga artist Junji Ito was already involved with the now cancelled project as well. And this is according to Del Toro, who tweeted about this on September 27th. His work includes Uzumaki, A Tale About a Tale, and weird bunch of people plagued by a spiral-related curse, and Gyo, in which walking fish terrorize a young couple with their death stench.
Sounds Japanese to me.
Like the Silent Hill series, Ito's work touches on lots of body horror, weird, surreal stuff. And knowing that he was involved in the project only makes the cancellation of this game sadder. Because he seems like a pitch-perfect fit for that style of game. And Kojima tweeted often about meeting with Ito and said he loved his work a lot, but the manga artist's involvement with this game was not known about until Ito tweeted about this. So yeah, Del Toro followed the tweet with another, praising Ito, saying Kojima and myself are fans. And I'm just bummed out. Silent Hills. Every time we keep getting stories about Silent Hills that only are like, it was going to be so good, you guys.
But seriously, it was going to be even better than I thought.
We're never getting it, but it only gets better every time we hear more news about its cancellation. Like, what is next? What is actually next? We've got to be able to think of some stuff.
They're going to release, like, the script, like the draft for the script, and it's just going to be amazing.
It's going to be a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, this incredible horror masterpiece. We're gonna find out that the dudes who did all the, like, maquette prop work for the Thing remake that got thrown out when they replaced it all with CGI, that they were all working on the monster designs with Junji Ito to create all the 3D models. It's like, oh, come on. The worst.
We're going to find out Nick Cage was going to be involved.
What's with your Nick Cage fixation today?
Just want a Nick Cage kick right now.
Just one more Nick Cage. Get it in there. Unpleasant news. Transformers Devastation. Gonna be a pretty big game. 50 whole missions. Ooh. 50... It's weird that it says 50 high-def missions.
Yeah, that's weird.
50 whole missions, tons of playable characters.
No, it's 50 high-def missions, but there's like 30 more in there that are
standard definition.
definition.
You want to switch over to a CRT for those
yeah.
ones. And Platinum also announced that they were put on the project by Activision, because Activision was putting out this other Transformers game. They wanted a new Transformers game, and they didn't want it to just be a like, oh look, a Transformers game thing. They wanted it to be special. So they put Platinum on it, and because Platinum can make a brawler that knows its audience and knows exactly what these people want, and based on all the trailers for Transformers Devastation, they nailed it. It is like distilled classic Transformers 80s coolness in a game. Like, the shading on the cell shading looks so good. It's like the old, I love it. And apparently they're going to, like in Platinum form, they are going to have 50 missions with difficulty levels ranging from Scout to Prime, and apparently the Prime difficulty is going to be ridiculous. They got the original transforming sound effect in the game. Every time it transforms, so good. And I didn't realize it, but this game is not like a budget title. I thought this was going to be like a $20 like digital thing. But no, this game's getting like physical copies for $50.
It's got 50 high def levels.
Yeah. So I'm interested. I'm excited. I want to play it. Street Fighter news, because there's been some, and we've been reporting on it, so I figure we might as well just keep up with it.
Sure.
Zangief's coming back. The big old Russian guy. He's gonna come back. He's gonna wrestle some more. I got this trailer with him like spinning around and being burly. So anyone who likes Zangief, good news there. And they also announced another new character, who I believe is the third of our new characters. So there's one more left to be announced, and that is a character named Laura, who is a Brazilian wrestler with lightning powers.
Ooh.
There's no video for her yet, but she was announced in a Famitsu magazine thing, just through like screenshots and stuff. She looks pretty cool though. Got a very unique design. Got this really cool like Brazilian favela town stage, and there's a bunch of screenshots of her beating up Ryu. And sadly, he doesn't have his big manly beard in any of them. But
that's why he can't win the fight.
I'm excited to see the reveal video for her, actually, and actually see this character in action, though. Because I can't remember any other Street Fighter characters, any other female Street Fighter characters who are, like, grappler-type characters. Usually that's reserved for big burly guys, like Zangief.
Like
Zangief. He's a classic brawler, or grappler. So they announced him, and then hot on the heels after that, they announced this new female grappler, and I think that's really cool. we'll have to see how stuff shapes up with her. And I'm eagerly waiting the last new character announcement. You know what is a way too complicated thing? Making a game inside of another game. Fully functional.
Yo, dog.
Like, yo, dog, I heard you like Pokemon Red, so I put Pokemon Red in Minecraft so you can play Pokemon Red while you play Minecraft. I don't know how the hell this is going to work. And the person writing this article from Destructoid 15 hours ago also has no idea how this is going to work. But apparently, this guy, Magib1, has said that he is rebuilding a functional copy of Pokemon Red inside of Minecraft through the use of thousands and thousands of command blocks, which are blocks in the game that allow you to script things without using mods. He has already recreated the Kanto map for the game. He has already got a functional Pokédex and made the world fully explorable. He's now working on an item bag and general optimization of everything to get it running nicely. So all that's left after that is getting the battle system and the AI to function. And some sort of system for capturing Pokemon, I guess, as well. And some way of adding Pokemon into the game. But he's doing it all by creating stuff outside of the world built in Minecraft that's like triggers and systems with these command blocks to determine whether you can or cannot walk on certain spots, whether you have to surf over certain spots.
Oh, surf.
Whether, like, it's probably going to have something to do with how the random Pokemon battles happen, and trainers, and things like that. It's crazy. This guy's crazy.
Yeah, just go play an emulator or something, dude. Jesus.
It's the challenge of it all. Someone also made a really giant pixel art of Kerrigan and Diablo and...
Who's that other one? I can't see.
Some Warcraft person, I think, probably. That's really big and really detailed, but this is way more interesting than that. I guess it won the art won a world record, though. It's a world record for pixel art in Minecraft or something.
Okay.
Cool. What video games are coming out?
Oh, there was one last thing I wanted to talk about real quick.
Oh, yeah, go for it. I didn't realize you had another article.
For those who knew... for those who watch television, not many of us.
Yeah.
Last night, PewDiePie was on The Late Show.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah, that he was going to be on.
PewDiePie and the head of No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I can never remember his name. Sean
it's
something?
It's a super, like, normal name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Sean Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So PewDiePie was on last night. Sean Murray is going to be on tonight, showing off, we assume, No Man's Sky. So check that out.
Release date.
God, I hope so. But the interview with PewDiePie was great. It was especially good to see because I've watched a lot of interviews on like regular television with internet celebrities, and almost never are they treated with any amount of respect.
No.
Like there was an interview, I think it was the Today Show or Good Morning America did with Jenna Marbles like a year or 2 years ago, and all they did was like talk down to her the whole time.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
they're
dude,
usually very like acerbic kind of like. So you're just like an internet person or something. People, you're on YouTube.
So you tell jokes
you
like
tell
that's
jokes on YouTube. That's not a big deal, really.
It's not professional.
Yeah, it's always talked down about. It's anytime something like that's kind of modern geek culture, I feel like, that comes up on most of those talk shows. It's always kind of fun is poked at it, and it's not given any, like you said, it's not given any real respect. It's not viewed as something legitimate.
The most recent example being when we talked about Jimmy Kimmel.
And his whole
thing with Let's Plays and how he was just...
He thought it was stupid.
Yeah, they were the butt of a joke on his show.
He was like, it's super childish and dumb.
Yeah. And then, he ended up coming around and not being a jerk about it.
Yeah.
But with Stephen Colbert, he was just cool about it.
Yeah, he was super cool about it. I didn't watch the whole interview, but the portion I watched, he talked to him like he would have talked to any other guest.
And he pokes fun at television, referring to it as a steam-powered medium.
Yeah.
He talks about the questions he asked were more about like, what do you think it is about you and the stuff that you do that really gets people excited.
Yeah, and
that really appeals to people.
He clearly did his research on it too, because he said you're a huge part of this current phenomenon of Let's Plays. Why do you think those are a big deal right now? Why do you think people are interested? And PewDiePie gave answers that I agree with.
Yeah,
that it's just it's one thing to play a game yourself. It's one thing to play a game with friends. It's another thing to kind of experience another person playing a game alongside them, even when they're not in the same room as you. There's people from all over the world, like PewDiePie's Swedish, for example. So it's people of all different nationalities who can just kind of come together and enjoy games together. And like PewDiePie said, it's kind of like having a friend with you playing a game, even though there's no one actually with you. And it's just something you can enjoy while you do other things.
The friend who's playing the game with you who never gives up the controller.
And that's what Colbert said, which I thought was really funny, too. He was very on point about it.
Oh, Colbert
did a great job.
He had a great line, I want to thank the internet for allowing their emperor to be here this evening.
Because what did he say? That PewDiePie is up to like 39 million subscribers now?
I think so, yeah.
That's obscene. And it's like 14 million more than the next highest subscribed channel on YouTube.
And when he asks PewDiePie at one point during the interview, like, so, do you what do you watch? And what TV do you watch? And PewDiePie's like, I don't really watch TV.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, because that's actually not uncommon for our generation. I don't.
I don't. Yeah, my girlfriend and I don't at all.
And I watch TV shows, but I
don't on TV.
Yeah, I don't watch them on television.
Most of our friends don't, I think, as far as I know.
Because I was watching The Late Show, but I was watching it on CBS's website the next day because I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't gonna I was too busy playing video games at 11:30 at night to turn on CBS to watch that. I was too busy
playing video games, listening to Let's Plays to watch TV.
Yeah.
PewDiePie has like an eighth of the United States population in subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
that's absurd.
He also went on in the interview to teach Stephen Colbert different Swedish swear
words, and they got bleeped. I was really disappointed.
One of them didn't, though, which I thought was weird.
Helvete,
yeah,
was the one they said. I don't know what it means, but I just said it too. Take that, FCC. So yeah, very cool. Upcoming games. We gotta wrap this up. On the 6th, Disgaea 5, Alliance of Vengeance. Ooh. Dengeki Bunko, Fighting Climax. What's Elite Dangerous? I heard people talk about it.
Oh.
It's like a space fighter thing, right?
Yeah, no, that sounds super familiar.
Yeah. Rock Band 4.
Oh.
Do you think anyone will care?
I think they will.
We got another Tony Hawk on our hands.
I don't think it's going to be another Tony Hawk. Okay. I think it's going to be better made than Tony Hawk.
Transformers Devastation, which I'm very excited about.
Excellent.
And with that, that's the show. That's all we got. That's it. There's nothing else. Stop listening.
It's over. So you've been listening to Don't Copy That Floppy. We're a weekly video game news podcast. We broadcast live on www.chipit.net on Fridays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on all sorts of social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Steam, YouTube, and iTunes. We have show archives up on iTunes and Chipit's site as well. So please follow us on social media. We greatly appreciate it. We post a lot of our articles that we're going to talk about up there, so you can interact with us.
Yep.
And that's it. So
them's the breaks.
So in a moment, we will return you to your chiptune music.
Hope you enjoy that. And until next week, remember,
don't copy that floppy. Don't copy that floppy.